Hey, what's going on, guys? I have been really inactive with my YouTube series, and firstly, I want to apologize for that. I know that it may seem a bit weird as to how I disappeared, but I was focusing on school and just on my free time, I was playing solo queue. Going pro is still an accomplishment that I want to achieve. So currently, though, I am rank 66, 727 LP, and I will be making more YouTube videos just whenever I have the opportunity to. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you guys want to see some Challenger games, Unranked 2 Challenger, duoing with Stompus, just whatever it is, I'll try my best to produce when I have the opportunity to. But I did not abandon you guys. I've just been really, really busy with school and with just on my free time, just playing League. So yeah, well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let me know what you guys think. I don't coach too much, so I did try my best, especially with this guy. He shot me a DM on Twitter, and I said, you know what? Let's see what we can do. Let's produce a YouTube video. And I thought it turned out really nice. There was some really good information that I felt like that I gave to players that are looking to step up their game. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and have a good day, guys. Okay, so we are coaching a Diamond EOS jungler. Just do a quick introduction.
Yeah, my name is Gummy Bear on EOS, that I play a lot of Nidalee, Hecarim, Elise, Rek'Sai. Yeah, and I want to get coaching from ETHUG.
Okay, so I'm looking in your recents, and just one thing that I do see just real quick is like the Stride Breaker. Why do you prefer that over Prowler's Claw?
Because of the cooldown, so it's only 10-second cooldown, and the dash is pretty similar. It gives me tankiness, which Prowler's Claw doesn't give me, and I really like the Bruiser playstyle. I don't like Assassin Rek'Sai, and I like the short cooldown on the dash.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's fine, but I prefer the Prowler's Claw with then into like Sterix GA. So you're not going to Assassin, but it's just making it so like for games like this, for example, you can get onto Talia a lot easier. But I see that Stride Breaker is probably not the worst. And then for your Nidalee, I prefer to go Dark Harvest pretty much every single game. And in games like this, I would consider taking Everfrost over Night Harvester because you're not going to do a whole lot versus that comp, and you want to just be able to help your team comp a little bit better.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so and with runes, have you? I'm assuming you tried the Halo Blade setup as well on Rek'Sai. You just prefer
Yeah,
the.
I did as well. I just prefer this one, and I
Mhm.
also prefer actually Relentless Hunter over Ravenous Hunter on Rek'Sai,
Okay.
because I really like the out of combat movement speed, and I feel like I don't need the Omnivamp on Rek'Sai.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go to we'll start it strong. We're gonna go to the win
Yeah.
first, and then we'll go to the loss, unless you prefer the loss first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there I'm pre-made with the Anivia.
Okay. Okay,
Uh,
so loading into the screen based on team comps, what lanes do you think you should be playing around, and what lanes do you think you should probably avoid?
um, I think I should enable bot lane to snowball, since my bot lane is a ranged matchup with Draven, and oh, I can't see the stream anymore.
Ooh. Can you see it like this?
No, I cannot see it. Wait, editing. Maybe stop watching, then watch again.
I can
Uh,
try. Okay.
oh, I can see it again now.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
If that
So I
happens
wanna
again, yeah.
basically wanna enable my bot lane to snowball, and also I wanna get kills on mid, because I mean it's the Z with Ignite, with the Zenivia with Ignite, and will probably be very snowbally. So whoever gets ahead
Okay.
wins the lane. Yeah.
Okay, so the way that I see it is it's really hard to play versus Ezreal Nami, especially as Rek'Sai.
Yeah.
It's really easy to pressure top, and Lilia's going to be outpacing you in jungle. So I would want to if I were loading into this game, I would look to start bot because it shouldn't hurt bot too much to leash the level one. Sona should
Yeah.
permascale. I know in EUSO some ADCs are like really kind of stupid, and they'll and they will like just force ganks. So I guess we'll see how the level one plays out. But something that I would like to see from level one is just placing a vision ward. So you can place the vision ward ideally right here, and then you
Yeah.
reset for for sweeper. So what that does is that denies Lilia from taking your Raptor camp level 1 while you're on red. And also you get the sweeper for a top gank, which you can go either through river or you can go through the right here, depending if he has push or not.
So usually I ward the other side where I start. So when I start red, I would ward the pixel brush on top side.
Yeah. And that's fine for competitive play, but when it comes to solo queue, it's really unlikely that that Lilia will pull your blue buff level 1
Yeah.
because it's really bad for her own clear, right? So she either wants to start here or here, and I have seen players cheese that. But
Okay. Okay.
okay.
Got.
Okay. So I guess we'll speed this up a little bit. Especially if you're starting topside, though, you did get a ward through here, but they can still kind of come through the fog of war on mid. But I'm assuming she's just gonna full clear from top to bot. Make sure you're looking at the top lane too to see if he did pull HP when he was
Yeah.
leashing, so you know that when he did check, it looked like that he lost a bit of HP. So he started red, so he's gonna do red Krugs and race.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is my usual clear. So I usually always clear my blue side and
Okay.
then either directly go for a gank or go to red buff. Then
Yeah,
he's here and
I mean, Rek'Sai is one of those champions where early game she really excels at the early game dueling, especially in a matchup like Lilia, because Lilia is going to be outpacing you with clear pretty much throughout the entire duration of the game. So you want to try and actually right here, you have bot priority. I would say fuck the red buff, and I'd go to this
yeah.
scuttle, and then I'd go to top scuttle, and then I'd reset. And then what this will do is you
But
can get your two rotation camp of bot, and you'd be level
yeah.
4. And
But you
pardon?
have to remember that top lane I have no prio and mid lane I also have no prio. So I don't know if going to top scuttle is a good idea because they will see me if I walk through mid lane and then
Yeah.
Z Z can collapse.
So the mid wave would be pushed in, and it looked like that Lilia was going to bot side crab. So bot side crab for
Yeah.
sure. I guess a safer path would be doing bot side crab into full clear bot to reset, and then you'd have tempo for your top side camps, or you could look for a
Yeah.
top gank into top side camps and then continue that. But in scenarios like that, I do like to be like really risky, and I like to go for plays like that even without priority, because it's one of those things where like you either lose like 30 seconds of tempo, and in solo queue it's not too bad, and you can gain a massive lead by getting the double scuttle. But if you were to have gone straight to scuttle here, then your bot lane did have priority. Both mids
Yeah.
were dead, so and then you would have been relatively ahead at this point.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good gank. Make sure to just ping summoners as well whenever they get used, because a lot of the times people won't time them,
Yeah.
and if they're paying, it just makes it a lot easier. So whenever you're making a play on one side of the map, you know that Lilia was bot side, and like you had said before, mid and top has priority. So it's really optimal for her to go straight to her top side, to the top side scuttle. Um,
Yeah.
so one thing that you should do is just whenever you're making a play on one side of the map, just ping the other side of the map to be careful, because sorry, but the top side was a counter play.
Yeah. Then she is also there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see top line is fucked here. He needs to help. He needs to
Yeah,
push
yeah.
the.
You definitely need to be
Yeah.
top right now to help him push the wave. It was a misplay by him to do that.
Yeah. Then he baited me into breaking the freeze, and I died. This tilted me really hard.
Yeah. Okay. So that was a mistake from him. But also you could have prevented the HP trade from just not from just pinging him back while you're making a play bot
Yeah.
because yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point of the game, I would be looking to play hard through bot. Um, so what I would do is I would do either full clear towards bot and then I'd set up for a free dragon, or I would just go straight to their bot side if my bot has priority. But it looks like mid doesn't have priority, so I probably would do a full clear, or at least these top three side camps, and then I would look for bot vision. So just making sure that you're buying a pink, and since you're duo with your mid laner, that's really good. You can get vision for your mid laner wherever he needs it.
Yeah.
I ideally in the line bush and then the pixel bush. You could actually look to gank top as well, but it looks like he's reset right now, and it's one of those things where like because now he's the weak side. If it is 2v2, it's really hard
Yeah.
for yeah.
Yeah. I think it's not good to forget the win con, so
Yeah,
I
so
need to
like at this
really
point of the
stick
game,
to it. Yeah.
like you did a good job establishing that your win con is going to be bot lane.
Yeah.
So just playing hard through that, and how the jungle will look from this point on. Because bot has priority, you want to walk either with bot and then have your bot rotate with you to their bot side. And you want to be establishing the vision, and then you want to let them go back at priority, and then you can walk with them, and then you can either walk with them again to their camps, or you could start dragon, or you can help mid lane get priority at this point as well. But I think because your bot lane is so strong, you don't really need mid lane for this play because your bot will always be there first, and you can just look to kind of just face tank with them.
Yeah. Here I didn't look what's happening.
Yeah, it looked like he was taking the blast cone. But what that stems from is when you are playing with a lane that's ahead like this, you want to just sit in an area where you are able to counter before you go for the objective. Because even if you do lose the scuttle, you would still be able to walk up for the vision. And it would also deny Lilia from having the opportunity to gank while the lane is like in this spot, which is really ideal for them to gank. So just making sure that when you are playing through with the lane, you're in a spot where you can instantly just counter gank.
So I
It
shouldn't have gone to Scuttle. So right after red, I should have just sit in Tribrush, for example, or
Yeah, so I would either sit in Tribush or I'd sit in one of the lane bushes.
because I cannot do Crux either. Like this
Yeah,
would even be worse.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a good try out on the dragon. I would try the same thing because it gives you level 6, and then you're able to possibly turn it with dragon for a 1 for 1. So I think plays like that are good to look for, especially when you're behind. But what you could have alternatively done is just reset, take blue, and then look to help top with priority into getting rift or just sneaking rift. I don't know how people on EU West react to this. I haven't played on EU West in 2 years, but I know that in NA it's a really solid strategy where like when they're going for dragon or when they're going for rift, just sneak the other objective if it's open. And you don't even have to go with the priority. Just making
Yeah.
sure that
So
you're sweet though.
usually when I do Drake with my bot lane and I know that enemy jungle isn't contesting, then I ping my top lane or mid lane if they have prior to check Rift Herald.
Yeah, but not a lot of players will do that, right? Because especially on US, like these are like ego inflated junglers, and they're like
Yeah.
just playing their own game, right? So it's worth a shot because if worth comes because since they have the priority and their jungler will either be resetting or running to it, you either have a window to sneak it or you're gonna lose it regardless, right? Because at this point of the game, your top or mid doesn't have priority, and I think it's like a good opportunity. Um, or you could have just cleared again from top to bot. But at this point of the game, you want to try and get that rift, and then you want to play hard to bot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, when I came in to the loading screen, I do think it may have been better to just upright play for top lane because you would have been able to get the rift at the 7 minute mark with your top lane priority, and then you could have also
Yeah.
used that to translate the lead towards the bottom lane at this stage of the game if Draven wasn't turbo fucked. Okay, handing off the blue. So right now, because you're not playing for any objectives, you're on a downtime. So this is a good opportunity to just do a full clear into bot lane is what I would do. I'd be pinging bot careful for like 30 seconds. So just like I would ping and say 30s and then yeah, but looks like that they're kind of inting the lead. And that's another disadvantage whenever your top laner takes like something like Ghost or Ignite is he's always stuck onto the top lane. So it's why you want to be the one to translate the lead with the Rift Herald towards bot. Okay, that's pretty nice. So you're gonna be getting the priority now.
Yeah.
You're relatively low. I would just look to reset. Like something like right here. You're waiting for her to I guess start this camp, but it's one of those things where you want to be resetting for tempo. So you know that she's going to be checking your bot side jungle or she's going to be going mid, right? Like those are essentially her two
Yeah.
options. So this is another opportunity where you can gank top when the wave resets, and then you can look for the prio with top, and then you can look to move to rift and just telling your mid to be careful from bot side, because you know that she either shows mid in like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, or she'll be scouting your jungle into reset. So you have a good window right now just to reset for the tempo. That's good on mid. Nice, very nice. So you have mid first. Um, Again, what I would do, and you have Dragon coming up in a minute 30. You have two options. You can either start to look to set up for Herald, but you don't have top prio, or you can look to set up for bot. It just becomes really hard with bot at this point. I know that they have no flashes, but Ezreal Nami is just, in my opinion, really hard
Yeah.
to gank. What do you say?
Now I have Stride Breaker though.
Okay, okay.
So now I can just jump on them very, very easily.
Hmm.
Yeah, look for a counter gang.
Yeah, and it's really good, because you can just like I feel like you could have done this at like every stage of the game whenever they shove up. Like you guys hard win the 2v2, or even yeah, like or you can just like hard pressure the set. But this is good. I would go straight from this to the bottom side, and then I would look for dragon personally.
Yeah, here I wanna trade. So
Yep,
if
yep.
they wanna do Drake, then I will push this
That's
mid.
that's a really good idea. I would push that in, and then I would just look to reset for tempo. I mean, if this guy's inting though, then okay.
And like Darius just keeps getting free stuff on top lane
Yeah,
meanwhile.
yeah. So he's playing like really well at this stage of the game. and I would hope so if he's not taking TP. Um, so I would look to just full clear towards bot, and then again just using bot. Actually, I wouldn't full clear. I would fast clear. I would clear my top side because Lilia at this stage I don't think can contest with how strong your bot is, and Sona has ult coming up. So just full clearing from top to bot. And it saves a little bit of time with your clear if you start with the Gromp and then you do Gromp blue wolves. I mean that's a good counter. Yeah. Is there?
Yeah,
Oh, there's no comms in this game. Okay.
yeah. There is no sound, but I'm
Mhm.
talking with my premate, so you see my Rek'Sai
Yeah.
icon
Yeah.
lighting up. Yeah.
See the TP.
Then I see Ezreal eing in.
Yeah, like this is just really in from them. Okay.
And at this point, they completely lose the
Yeah.
game to us. Yeah.
Yeah, so like their mistake was fighting on their weak side. So Lilia in this game, she should have continued to play two top side. If she could have shut down the Darius, then Set could have been more proactive with his roams or pushing his lead.
But
Um,
after the 2v2 on top lane, which we
yeah,
won,
yeah.
also this was over. Like, then he could basically 1v2 already, so.
Yeah, like after that point, it was pretty doomed. But with his prio, he should have been more proactive in taking your top side and getting vision right because, obviously Rek'Sai it excels at 2v2, especially when there's no vision
Yeah.
in the 2v2. So just making sure that Lilia is using the priority that she had mid and top to establish vision, so we know, so she knew where you were at the stages of the game. But at this point, the game is in your lead. So what you should be looking to do is just hovering these three. So it looks like that, and Navy is going to be going bot. And then just waiting for the priority, and then you walk in with the Sona and the Draven, and then you look to get whatever vision Navy
But it's
needs.
super bad to get to put Anivia on the sideline, I think.
Yeah, like Nivea should be mid, but if bot lane wants to go mid here for the mid shove,
And
then that's
then I
fine.
realized this Ezreal is free.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
like
no flash.
in instances like this, it's really good to just abuse that, right? Like if he's gonna step up, with no respect,
Yeah.
it's essentially like their downtime right now, and then you guys have the tempo because you had to push mid, and they didn't have the proper vision.
I don't know what Darius is doing there, just waiting, chilling.
Yeah, he could be shoved in top, or he could look to participate in this fight, which I mean it worked out. Um, like right now, I would just look to chunk mid, potentially take mid, and then I would look to either reset for tempo or I'd look to start the Rift Herald. I think at this point, like you can siege the mid turret, but it's just standing gold. So one thing that I've learned from playing on teams like GGEA and with the Echo Fox Bootcamp is in instances like this, it's good to either reset for tempo or go for the objective into reset because the Herald's free and this is like just standing gold at this point. You could stay here, but you lose the rift, and you're gonna get this turret on on your next push, anyways, with the Rift Herald,
Yeah,
and you don't even have to use the rift at that point.
yeah.
But they're just like stepping up too far, so it's really hard for me to say that, and then you guys just like
Yeah,
abuse
no,
them.
no, I
Yeah,
totally agree.
yeah. And another good thing that I see you do is you take their camps whenever you're leaving to reset. This is actually a really solid way of shoving them out of the game, right? Because they're going to be losing waves to turret if they look to respond to you, and the jungler can't take the camps, or even the ADC, or just whoever their strongest member is. So it chokes them out of a lot of gold, and it makes them and it makes them have to respond to the waves when they crash the turret, rather than being able to move and lose the 100 gold. So whenever you have a lead, just make sure that you're always taking camps on the way out, which is like really good. Jesus.
Enemy can't see the pings.
Yeah, I mean this was like really here. I'm showing you. So like this was really poorly played by them after essentially like the 5 minute mark, because this turned into a thing where they had established the win con, but then Lily was just kind of like chilling, just farming.
Yeah.
And this can be what happens in a lot of games, especially for players that are trying to climb out of diamond. Is they'll establish a win con, but because they see like one that they'll have like one losing lane, and the lane's like
Mm.
bitching, like hey, like come play or come to the lane.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. My mom came in. But yeah, so just essentially making sure to play through your win con, and like this is why junglers are hated the most, especially at the top level, is because they um it's because they'll play strongly through their win con, and then they'll
Yeah.
like the losing lanes like yo, like where the fuck's my help, like, and they're just chilling, right? And then but making sure that you're getting something done on that, right? So like if teammates tell things, be like yo, like we're getting rift, we're getting top kill, like just look at top. But I know, again, like I've played on US, so I know that there's a lot of players on US that are like, if you don't play through me, then I'll AFK, like type shit. And that happens on an A too. So the game's over at this point. You guys got Baron. Overall, a really solid game. I personally would have played it differently. I would have, like I had said, I would have played through top, use that to get the rift
Mm.
right at the 7 minute mark, and then after swap to bot, and then look to get the bot turret with that, and then get the bot into the mid lane to take the T1 if the T1 was still up. Um,
But I think
so, pardon?
both. I think both is fine because a bot lane is also versus ranged matchup. So
Yeah, but
yeah, it's debatable.
I think it is debatable, but when I see like Rek'Sai and it's like Rek'Sai Darius, it's really easy to gank for that, and it's really easy to take the 2v2.
Yeah,
Um,
compared to Ezreal and Nami. Yeah, I see your
yeah,
point.
yeah, and especially if the Lilia were to participate in any of the ganks. So we're gonna jump to the loss though, because there's not much to be said in that one. Other than that, right? Like you played on the bot side, but I personally would have played on the top side just because it's like a safer option, right? So we're gonna take a look at this one now. I'm. Do you have any questions for this game, or is this kind of just like
No, for now, it's
yeah? Okay. All right.
here I'm pre-med with Rel.
Okay. Yeah, jungle support duo is always good. One thing to note with jungle support duo, and this is like really fucking OP, making sure to try and talk to your support about backtimers. If you guys can match backtimers and you guys can like set up vision in the bot side for Anivia, or even in the deep bot side for Anivia and your bot, then Anivia has a side of the lane to play towards rather than just
Mm.
having to back up to your turret. So we'll see the comps. So you're against Mundo jungle, Teemo top. So this is actually really hard. Their bot lane should have priority, Janna hard counter as well, and top lane is like it's really fucking hard to kill. Um,
Yeah, but both have ignite, so I will definitely want to path top lane because
yeah,
ignite.
yeah. So like what I would do um, for the first couple of minutes is I would full clear from is I'd place a ward like I had said, right here, reset,
Yeah,
get the sweeper, full clear from here all the way to top, double point Q, and then take your E level 4. And then I would look for cheese gang top, or if
yeah.
or hover top for the scuttle is what I'd probably
Nice.
do. Oh, I keep forgetting to turn that thing off.
Yeah, now I can't really reset for the ward.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you're telling your
Yeah.
teammates, if Mono starts Q, he's gonna clear from top to bot. So essentially, just making
Oh,
sure that your yeah, so making sure that your support knows like there's a high chance that he's topping that he's starting top. So what I'll be doing is looking at lanes, just seeing which ones took the HP, and or which ones took the mana. So it looks like it was either a top, it was probably a top start then. I didn't get to see Teemo's HP, but yeah.
and then right now I'm thinking if I should skill E or not, but I think,
Double point Q, yeah, is usually
yeah,
the best. One thing with Hecarim Q, by the way, is you can actually pull this camp to about here, and then you can like sit against this wall and then press Q, and then your Q will stay up. By the way, it's similar to like the Gravesy where you just are cutting the camp.
oh, yeah.
So instead of having to restack Q, yeah. Pretty much every single game on Hecarim, I like to full clear. Um, I essentially just want to maintain like a camp advantage, right? Like in the matchup with Mundo, he will clear really fast after his first clear, but you will be relatively close to matching his clear speed, and you just want to focus on getting six and pretty much just farming whenever you're not ganking. So at this point, I would say the top has shove. I would go straight to Rift, or I would go straight to Scuttle, sorry, and then I would look. Okay,
See what happens.
so we already took it.
He
Okay.
just runs me down.
He actually just runs you down. Holy shit. Okay, so right here, the moment that I see him, I would I would just instantly pop ghost. The scuttle's already gone, so you're not fighting for an objective.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't even need to look at the top eight. HP. It would just take too long for him to rotate, even if he were full HP.
yeah.
So I would just pop the ghost, or I'd pop the E, and then I would just instantly run away. And then I would look to reset, and then do another full clear from bot to top. But his damage is actually disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have a hard time playing against Mundo these times. Also,
Yeah,
my champ pool like Rek'Sai, I cannot see his cleavers in my W. Hecarim, like Elise would be my only champ to play against Mundo, to be honest. But even then, I cannot duel him. Like I don't think there's any jungler that can 1v1 him level 4.
I think that's pretty reasonable. Yeah,
Then I got this for no reason, but I
yeah,
got it.
yeah. Like that's something that I would do as well. It's just like I lost the top. And again, like you could have prevented the death just by not dueling him level 4, just reset straight to bot, and it would have been the same story. But at this point, he's really ahead of you. Like any lane that you go to gank, it's gonna be fucking hard for like,
Yeah,
especially if it's countered. Um, so I would just look to juice like you're doing, just do another full clear, and then I would look to reset again and to sneaking a dragon, or something, like grabbing a pink and then just seeing how they react to when you start drag.
What do you mean, like how they react? Just like go there, start it, and when they
Yeah,
come,
like
I leave.
pretty much, yeah. Like go there,
Uh,
start it, make sure your E's up, and then if they come, then just leave because it's to the
okay.
point where like they will end up getting it regardless, right? So you may as well try and get it on your own terms because if you can sneak it, it makes it so Mundo doesn't get the resistances from the mountain. But the top gank here is not too bad either. Just whenever you full clear, just look for a gank.
Yeah.
But he goes in Viz.
Yeah, this is pretty bad.
Yeah,
Like we wasted a lot of time just trying to get the invisible Teemo,
yeah,
and then we just forced the 2v2 with this super strong Mundo, which is strong for no reason, but he is. Yeah.
yeah. I think even if Mundo was level 5, you guys probably would have lost that.
Yeah.
So again, it just comes down to like my natural, I guess, instinct or whatever. It's just like resetting into trying for this. Um, I think it's one of those things where this sort of all stemmed down from the level 4 in the top side and then top lane dying as well. Um, it's really hard for you to pressure the Teemo at this stage of the game. So I would just look to sneak the drag, like I had said.
Yeah, it's a flippy gank. I don't know where Mundo is, so it's a potential 2v2 which we will lose.
Yeah. So you have two options. Since bot's staying, your bot is full HP. You can either look to just commit bot right now. There should be a blast cone up unless they warded it and took it with their
Yeah.
priority, and you can look for a cheese gank into their bot sums. That is generally pretty good, especially in solo queue, because you know that the Mundo, since he pushed in the wave, he's just reset about now, and he's probably about here. So, to whichever side of the jungle he goes to, most likely his bot. He did start bot, not top. And just making sure when you're clearing, yeah. So you can start those two like way sooner because you heal from the Gromp, and then you also want to get your smite charges down. So I would just smite the smite the Gromp instantly, pull them too. But you're doing the drag, which is good because you know that their bot lane just reset. And then at this point, it would just become back to farming for me. I would just look to continue my full clear. Ping off Rift, just tell top to be careful of counter map. Yep. When you walk into your top side, you should pop sweeping because you don't know if they have vision, or sometimes you can also get sight if they're gonna cheese you, especially when you're going to your red buff right here. Okay, so I guess Timo just soloed it.
This was not good.
Yeah.
Bad trade.
E so like right here too, even catching the wave in my opinion, I would continue the reset because I would just focus on getting the tempo to bot, right? Because at this point the bot scuttle is coming up and it's like I think it was like 80 gold or 80 or 100 gold and it's just a little bit of EXP. So I would be focusing on walking with Rel and then getting the vision with Rel and the bot side.
Yeah, here I'm actually not sure if I should get Executioners instead of Phage, but I get Phage.
Yeah, I think at this point getting Executioner is I mean, you're not gonna win versus Mundo at this point. Like Mundo falls off in the very late stages of the game. At this point, he's probably like extremely strong. Like he should have his item belt now.
Yeah, he just walks top again, like he just runs.
I would try and gank bot through lane. I'm not sure what sums they have. Uh or I would just gank bot through river. You have to try and get something done on the other side of the map. Or else A, top lane will tilt, and B, it's really bad for.
Yeah, so here the problem was that I didn't use the gank window too well. I
Yeah.
mean, I got Jenna, it's okay, but
And then what I would do at this stage is just tell bot to push, and then I would just kind of like chill bot, right? Like, and maybe take their Krugs. I'm not too sure where their mid lane is. That's the one downside to that play. But you should just be trying to at least zone the Ezreal off of that wave. I'm not sure if he comes to collect it or resets. Okay, looks like he resets. So right now, again, this comes back to now this is your downtime, right? So they made a play, they reset. You made a play, you reset. So just pinging back the bot lane because they still could feel like that they're in control, but Mundo could be running directly bot with the Ezreal, and then they could be looking bot, and then so Timo has that window. You pinged that a bit late, but I feel like you pinged that based on like just Timo being in river, right? Like that could have been that could have been pinged like just as you were resetting, and that could have just prevented a death. Okay. Yeah, and it's really hard to gank mid at any point in this game. The only time you'd go mid, in my opinion, is if you're looking to A, reset the wave, or B, you're just looking to catch the wave and there's no camps up.
yeah, at this point Mundo
Yeah,
is already unkillable.
yeah. So like whenever and instances like this will happen, right? And you can still win. Like it's really hard because you have Illusion versus Mundo, and like it's not the greatest ADC versus Mundo. Your comp is bad, but there will be games
Yeah,
where for example there is a really fed jungler, top laner, whatever, and you can still win. You just have to recognize like we cannot take a fight where this guy's in it, right? So you want to try and just be cross mapping, right? If they're doing dragon, getting vision in their top side, or getting vision in their bot side when they're doing rift, like
yeah,
just whatever you can set up when they're on the other side of the map. Like you want to just pull as far away from that guy as humanly possible, trying to build a lead somewhere else to where at least that you guys can take a fight later on.
yeah.
Um, so you see him going bot. You're looking for a cheese. Looks like a cheese gank bot or just like vision. But it looks like that he's just gonna pull the dragon after scuttle. No, he's just walking. Okay. So at this stage, just reset, and then I would just do another full clear because it's like there's really not much more that you can do. Because they just took dragon, you can also look to walk into their top side now that your Nivea has prio, and I would just look to take Gromp into backing out, but it's also quite risky because the Mundo could be reset. We just don't know where he is. Okay. Oh yeah, that interaction's really stupid. But nice job. You pulled 2 kills there. They should have just fully backed up, so you punished that, which
Why
is good.
why didn't I ult over this wall? So weird.
It's so there's like a stupid interaction where like okay, so here I'll try and so because the wall is too big for your travel duration to go, the ghost will still follow and do the damage, but you won't go over it, right? So if you would have ulted to like right here, it would have worked, but
Yeah,
because it's like on this part of it, it just doesn't work. And it's like a really stupid interaction with Hecarimar. Um, but the champion is pretty strong, so it is what it is.
yeah,
So you see Mundo topside. I feel like when you fall behind, you have a problem with walking into their jungle, even when you know that there's no threats, right? So we see 2 top. I don't know where mid is, and then bot's still dead, right? So bot
So
has
instead of going to Gromp, I should go to his bot side.
yeah, because at the very least you'll have it. You'll reset them, or you'll reset the Raptors at the very least. It's pretty risky to go to
Yeah.
here because they'll be back in bot in about 25 seconds. So you just want to make sure that like you're at least resetting it, and you can also get vision. In this case, you don't have a pink, right? But
What do you mean with resetting? Like just killing the camp?
so if the camp isn't there, you'll get vision of when the camp spawns, so you have an idea of where Mundo could possibly be,
Oh
based
yeah.
on where he is, based on where he's uh
Yeah.
clearing towards. Okay. So just like making sure that you're using the windows where you see two top, two dead, and you have your mid lane on map just to walk in, right? Because best case scenario, you reset a camp, you take the camp, you take the gold. It's gold denied from Mundo when he resets.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, the camp's gone, but you know when the camp will respond, and you can either set up for it or you have an idea of what his path will look like.
Yeah.
Like okay, right now, I feel like you're the only win con for your team. Like you can carry this game. It's really hard because their comp. They have the Ezreal, the LeBlanc, the Janna. I would just keep forcing around these two. Whenever you see Mundo on the map. So what that can look like is just getting using. I would say whoever's in the side that has priority to get vision on one side of the map if you can. But at this stage, it looks like that they're just really overextending. Okay. It's actually not a terrible fight. Like I know Mundo is just kind of chilling, but that was a
Yeah.
pretty good fight considering that you're fighting against your strongest member currently. And that stems from you getting an advantage in the bot side, right? And Anivia just being a really strong dueler.
Yeah. You cannot even take the tower.
Yeah. Okay, so next objective coming up, I saw it was Dragon, looks like a 130. So what I'd be telling my team right now is, okay, I would take these two camps here. I may wait for the blue. It would depend on what the timer would be. It would take probably 10 seconds to clear post. You'd be waiting 15 seconds. I would probably wait for the blue, and then I would reset. So what that does is because you know that they're going to be playing for Dragon because it's net because it well they should be playing for Dragon because it's the next objective coming up. So I would take these three camps. So their jungler once they start setting up for this objective, they can't walk in and take the blue or any of the camps, right? So they're going to be at a deficit, and then I would walk straight here once top has priority. So I would look to reset after that, take this, potentially take the red if it's coming up, and then take this if it's
Yeah,
coming up as
because it's
well.
very hard for us to contest Dragon because we don't have top prio that can set up vision in our bot
Exactly,
side jungle.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what you're doing at this stage is just trying to cross map, right? Because it's just an ocean dragon. It's not like crazy useful.
Yeah.
It's not going to win them the game. It's not soul point, but et cetera, right? You did a really good job of getting the first dragon, so you can delay the game to a point where you guys could potentially win a team fight. Because otherwise they'd just be getting every single dragon, and then they get the soul, and then you guys would just lose.
Yeah, this is also the Ocean Soul.
Yeah,
Even better from Mundo.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know
I
why my ramp doesn't just stun so late here, but yeah, it's
yeah,
just
like that's really and
yeah.
I really do like this though that again like this Ezreal is playing so bad, so that's just what I would have done in like a challenger game in North America, but being able to abuse the shitty ADC whenever he makes like mistakes like that is like
Yeah, and
really
then
good.
he's 2 level above me, so I cannot outsmite him. This is very terrible. And when he
Well,
dies,
okay, so like you don't get the dragon, like that's fine, right? Like you were in a position to lose that dragon regardless, right?
yeah,
there's no way of really defending that. He has the empowered E alongside his smite, so he's always going to outsmite you. Even if you were the same level, it's very unlikely that you'd actually get the
Yeah.
dragon. So with plays like that, don't be tilted. At this point, just try and
Even
match
with
reset.
1k gold,
Exactly.
just got
Yeah,
1k gold.
you are chilling, bro. Like you got the shutdown.
Yeah.
You like again. You are the win condition at this
Question
point.
is what I'm building right now. Is Derek's a good choice? I'm not sure, but
Let's see their comp. So they have okay. So they have a bit of burst with the LeBlanc and the Ezreal. Sterix, I feel like I would buy Sterix here. I would buy Sterix into GA, into either Spirit Visage. I feel like Spirit Visage wouldn't be a bad item here as well because your Ezreal isn't online yet. But Sterix into Spirit Visage into GA or GA.
Derek's is always a great choice for
Yeah,
Hecarim.
yeah. I would have personally gone Merc Treads this game over Lucidity Boots, but I've never tried Lucidity Boots on Hecarim. I just really like the tenacity, especially in a game like this with the Mundo cleavers and the LeBlanc chain, just stuff like that. Okay, so right now you see that bot lane's being pushed um, in the Herald's bot. So I would react to this play, and then I would look to start setting up topside because I feel like
Yeah.
you're in a position where you're really strong and you can start making plays around yourself. You're not as strong as Mundo just yet, but just like okay, so you guys killed the Rift. Um, we need to catch the mid wave. Um, and not so it's really hard to do Baron at this point because Mundo is still the face tank. I would focus on taking their camps, getting the vision, resetting, getting priority, and then looking to start baiting Baron. Right, so you don't actually want to do the Baron unless two are dead. So what that would look like is just and I know this is kind of hard in solo queue. This is more in like a team play scenario, but it can still sort of be done. So what this would look like is just going through mid and just like sitting in the entrances. Ideally you'd have a Nivea in this and you'd have Jack spot. I feel like Jack should be matching the LeBlanc here as opposed to Nivea. And then you count their scrying orbs, so or the ways of checking the objective. So we know that there's Ezreal, right? That's the only way outside of the scrying orbs or the blue orbs or whatever you want to call them that they're able
Yeah.
to check for the objective. Uh, okay, so they have no scrying orbs right now, right? So they only have one way to check it. So after the Ezreal ult is burned, you can go back to the mid wave, take the mid wave, push it in a little bit, do the exact same thing, right? This time they have no way of checking it unless Ezreal were to buy a scrying orb, and then that's one way,
Yeah.
right? So it's just one of those things where like at this point, because they're relatively low range, Mundo can run up on you guys, yeah, but they don't have any way of really following outside of the Ezreal E and the LeBlanc W. And once and if you like walls and entrance, it also walls off Janna too. So that's like an example of like you want them to be walking into you. So at this stage of the game, it's pretty. It's a lot more. It becomes a lot more simple because you're so strong. Um, and I would again just ping Jax to bot
I'm
and then have
actually
a Nivea.
not like compared to Mundo. He's 2 levels ahead of me.
He is two levels ahead of you, but you and Anivia are like the strongest members on your team right now. I'm not too sure what Lucian's gold is, but okay. So Lucian has Kraken. He's building Essence Reaver.
I mean, Kraken Slayer, to be honest, is not a good choice here. I think because it does flat true damage, and Mundo just stacks HP, does nothing good to him.
Yeah. I think like Gale Force or even Bloodline wouldn't have been bad.
Uh,
So Ezreal, he's not online yet. He's still building to his item spikes. The LeBlanc is similar. She does have the Ludens, but she can't one shot you in full rotation, and it becomes really hard once Rel gets a good engage because Rel has a flash available. Your team essentially has all sums, but your top laner doesn't have TP, but neither does LeBlanc, right? So
yeah,
I would again just be pinging Jack spot. like Jack should know this, that he should be in the side. I don't know why he keeps trying to participate, because I feel like that Anivia is going to just do way more in this team fight than your Jax would, especially with the stopwatch. It opens up so many tools for her, and also for your team too, because if your Rel can get a flash engage, your Anivia can wall off the Janna. Um, Mundo would either be isolated or it'd be like a potentially an Ezreal Blanc pick. Okay. So this fight's bad. And it goes bad because we're fighting when they have the priority and we're walking into them, right? We don't win fights, or you guys don't win fights whenever you're walking into them, and it's similar with Hecarim too, right? If especially with a comp where LeBlanc can just chain you, you don't want to like be forced into a choke like this where you're having to blow R to get onto their backline. I'm not sure if yeah. So like you become isolated. You take two targets, but the team won't kill Mundo fast enough for you to be tanking their backline, right?
Yeah.
It's a good engage against any other jungler, but versus like Mundo, it's one of those things where it's really hard for your team to actually like deal with them at this stage of the game. So what I would have done alternatively is just like right when I see my team fighting, I would just back off, or I would just spam ping them to back off. I'd be catching them the mid wave, and then I'd look to fight on our terms, because right now we're just taking a fight onto their terms, and it's just not ideal. So um, being more like proactive with your pings can really help change the pace of a game a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, well, I in this situation I just didn't know what was the right play. I just thought, okay, I have a great dive into their backline, but
Yeah.
well, I had a great dive into their backline, but my team can't deal with the Mundo, so
Hmm. And truthfully, it's really hard to like. That's just gonna take trial and error, right? Because um, like nobody will know on the first time like this is the correct call, back off, get the mid wave, right? Like this is something that you're gonna have to take an experience in order for you to learn that like we should be pushing through mid and then fighting on our terms, because your team doesn't have any follow up once you engage, right? So you want to be playing the fights front to back. And if you can isolate their backline without dying by just forcing an R out, that's really good, right? So just like lead with the E, R their Janna or Ezreal or whatever, and then look to just E one of them into your team. Ideally not Mundo, but in that scenario, again, it was just really hard. With Anivia, you just want to make sure that you're fighting when they're walking into you, because it's just really annoying for them to deal with her. So because of that, it looks like that they get Baron. Yeah, so they do get Baron. Um, and how long's Dragon? I didn't get to see. 35. So they're gonna reset. It's gonna take them like 20 seconds to get from base to the midwave. You guys
yeah,
don't have time, in my opinion, to do the dragon at this point. And at this point of the game, it becomes really fucking hard to play the game, because now they've got a lot of gold from just winning the fight and getting the Baron and getting the resets off. Ezreal should start to come online now, and that makes it even more challenging for you, right?
Mundo's 3 levels ahead of me now. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I think at this point the game is honestly over.
yeah,
Um, just the biggest thing is you guys were climbing back into or out of the deficit. But just taking this fight was just the losing point. So just to like really smack this point home again, back your team off, and then just look to catch the mid wave low. You guys won't have priority on that wave, but just make sure that you're more aware of like the mid wave being shoved in, and just like where the waves are, and how your team's fighting, right? Because even at the start of
yeah.
this fight, when you do engage, you have two members that both don't have ult, and they're just really fucking low. So the fight is pretty hard. So yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
that
do,
is hard. That's good to see. Like,
yeah, and
yeah,
games like this, like it's really good. Like so, there's two ways to climb, right? And it just comes down to like um it really just comes down to like you can't abuse broken shit, right? and you will climb temporarily, or you can learn from losses like that, um,
Yeah.
and you'll slowly be building these. It's essentially like training a muscle, right? Like training your brain is essentially like training a muscle. Um,
Yeah.
you want to work towards setting up these ideas and making sure that you're walking through mid, um, calling the correct call, because even if this were the correct call, right?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? You guys have three waves that are being pushed in right now. You would get Baron, yes, but you would have to spend a lot of your tempo from Baron to the waves. So again, it's just one of those things where like, yeah, you'd get the Baron gold and it would set it off. But they don't have a fast Baron. Like they can't pressure Baron on you guys because you guys have so many opportunities to engage with the Rel flash engage or with the or with your engage followed by an Anivia follow. Mundo would also be tanking the Baron at that point, so it'd either have to blow his R or it'd be stuck onto this um like this huge resistance debuff, right? So
Yeah. I
yeah.
need to think about this. Like stuff like this, I really need to think about.
Mhm.
So yeah, ideally we just push mid here and
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a shit way to lose a game, but but I'm telling you right now, this isn't the only game that you're gonna lose from a mistake like that. Like, it's one of those things where it really does come down to just trial and error. Like I said, because even I lose games from stupid ass mistakes where I'm just like, I just like look in the replay after and I'm just like, why would I ever do that? Like, um, but again, it's just knowing that you made the mistake, so next time you're more aware of the mistake. Um,
but how do I get the other lanes pushed out? Like mid lane, okay, we can move as a team
yeah.
to push it out, but
So at this stage, it's really hard to push the other lanes out. I would just be focusing on mid lane at
yeah.
at this very point. But I was just trying to like drive the point home of like, if you were to even win this fight here, you're winning
Yeah.
it on their turn, or you're essentially winning it on their terms, which is still not ideal, right? Because you really want to be playing well with Anivia. And I guess you would do it with the Rel, but the Rel felt like that she could get the engage. I would just be screaming at her in comms, back up, back the fuck up, you know, because that was like a really bad misplay from her, and then you guys essentially lost the game from it. Like, I assume they just essentially took Dragon and just sieged, is what I'd assume. Do you feel like that you guys could have still won after that play, or no?
No, no. I feel
Mhm.
like we didn't have damage from Mundo, so this was the problem.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Mundo was completely unkillable. Like Jax cannot really stick to Mundo because he just runs away. Like Mundo is way faster than Jax, and
yeah. So
yeah,
what that becomes is it's just essentially like you have to just ignore Mundo in the fight and then just focus the other targets down.
yeah. This is what my pre-match said as well. But Mundo also deals so much damage, and
Yeah,
yeah,
his damage does fall off later though, which makes him a bit more balanced. But
yeah,
his early clear speed, along with his level 4 dueling, and even his level 6 dueling, is just ridiculous.
yeah.
Um,
There's one more team fight on top lane if you want to
okay,
scroll.
do you know what the timestamp for that
Um,
is, or I can
it's
just
like very late
okay.
to the replay. Yeah, before I think.
Oh, before
Oh no,
this?
after, after,
Okay,
after,
okay, okay.
after. Look here, we killed 4 people somehow.
Okay, so you guys kill four people. You get the dragon. You reset, and I'm assuming they're gonna be pushing to top.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and then the game is lost.
So this is good. You guys are pushing out the waves, and it's kind of in this point where like you do have to find an opportunity to fight. Blowing your
Yeah,
eye
it was
there.
super, super bad that I
Yeah.
actually.
So here, I probably would have ended up blowing R two, but you just saw two on vision right there, and you didn't need to R. But yeah, that it's really fucking bad for the fight because that's your only source of real engage, or disengage for the rest of your team.
Yeah,
So let's shoot it down just to 1.5 or just normal. Okay.
Yeah, I tried to peel for my team, like
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The guy's just
doesn't.
fucking unkillable.
Yeah,
So the major thing here that I saw is, um, you took a really bad like HP trade here, and although it seems kind of like useless, it is really important that you try and just posture like an S key here, because you are no longer the engage, right? Like there's no way that you're gonna be able to
yeah,
E Mundo into your team or E onto one of the back lines, right? Because they have the Janna. So you want to be prepared to follow up. I think at this stage it's kind of like fuck the Anivia, the Lucian's healing. Just try and fight here. But again, it's just like a lost cause, right? Like it's one of those
yeah,
things where you have to try and go for that, or else you're just gonna lose the game. Um, Especially only because you have the one Nexus turret. Yeah. Okay. So do you have any questions about either of the games or any of the just anything in general that you want to ask?
yeah. So, like early game, I should just avoid Mundo, right? So
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kill him.
So, like I had said, for the early game, the moment that you see him, right? The only reason that you'd want to contest Mundo is if he's on the scuttle, right? Because you know that he'd commit his E to the scuttle, but he just killed scuttle. There's nothing to fight for. I would pop the
Yeah,
E. I would run away, even if Jax didn't die in that scenario, because it would take too long for Jax to rotate down, and he would have just walked away after taking the scuttle trade. That would have denied him the 300 gold, and that would have also had you on tempo for the bot lane scuttle, because in that instance, you want to try and salvage a scuttle
yeah,
even when you're in a losing matchup, right? Like that's the biggest key, is to try and just say fuck it, top's gone, go for bot. Maybe you get bot, maybe you don't, but at least it's like worth trying. Otherwise you continue
yeah.
the full clear. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Then I don't have any more specific questions.
All right. Well, you do have my Discord. If you have any questions about any build or just a quick play that you want to go over at any point, feel free to just DM me and then we can go over that. Okay.
Yeah, that
All
sounds
right, man.
cool.
So I'm
Get
gonna
back
upload
to you.
this. Perfect. I'm gonna upload this onto YouTube. I'll send you the VOD just so you can look over it again if you want it
Thanks.
when you're not tired.
That's very helpful. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you have yourself a good
Bye.
day, man.